when you're in comfort, I mean, it just eats these bumps up. You don't think nothing of it. It's so smooth. Oh boy. Oh boy. No way. Didn't see that jump. Have it in comfort. Had to air it out. And the thing landed like it was on feathers.
The dream for a long time in snowmobiling is having a suspension that's soft enough to soak up those small little chatter bumps, but firm enough when you hit that big G-out hole or when you get airborne anywhere on the trail or in the ditches. Dynamix is the only suspension system that controls all 4 of the shocks on the fly. I mean, it's absolutely incredible how well this works. So imagine going into a corner, and as you're going to that corner, that outside shock gets stiffer so you don't have that body roll. Or when you accelerate, makes the rear shock firm so it doesn't wheelie, so it doesn't have as much weight transfer, keeping the skis planted to turn. And then when you're airborne, you come off the ground, automatically making all those shocks stiffer so when you land, it cushions that impact. I mean, the stuff that I'm saying, it's fairy tale, right? It's like, I can't even believe this is real. And that's what Dynamix is now. It's literally my dream come true. When you're out on the trail, it is literally making the sled suspension the optimum setting at all times. Absolutely mind-blowing.
2025 VR1 Dynamix. And this is what's cool. If you look on the screen there, Comfort, Rally, Extreme. You can see them getting stiffer right there. They go up and down, okay? The other thing that's really cool, once you pick it, if you look at this, that's telling you what the sled is doing. So when you accelerate, it'll lean to the back. See it picked up as cornered, picks up as accelerating, picks up that it's braking. So what's cool about that is when you accelerate, it makes the rear shock stiffer so that, and you can see it in live time. See how that rear shock, it got stiffer? So you can see that, and what that does is that keeps the front end from wheeling. And what that means is when you're accelerating, you're going in, accelerating through a turn, it's keeping that front end down, which is awesome. And now, same thing as when you brake. So when you brake, you can see the front end gets stiffer, just like that. It compensates for that, which, I mean, it's absolutely incredible technology because these shocks are adjusting on the fly. Dynamix is adjusting on the fly to everything you're doing and making it just the optimum setting, which is amazing to me.
Dynamix has 3 different settings. They have Comfort, Rally, and Extreme. And you can imagine which each one of them is. So Comfort is for them small chattery bumps, soaking up all the little stuff, making that whooped out trail smoothed out like butter. And then Rally is when you want to get aggressive. You're on that trail, you want a little bit more firm, a little bit more hold in the turns. That's the setting that most people will run if you want to get aggressive on the trail. And then Extreme, that's when you say, hey, I want to hit that road approach, I want to hit it hard, I want to hit that jump, whatever it is, you put it in Extreme, makes all the shocks stiff. The initial setting is stiffer, and then once you get airborne, it goes full stiff. So absolutely amazing setup, being able to adjust it on the fly, literally by a push of a button, being able to go through that. But the question you might have is, what about if I'm in Comfort and I hit something hard? Is it gonna bottom out? That's the cool thing about Dynamix, is even in the Comfort mode, when you hit that big G-out hole, or if you get airborne, it automatically gets stiffer, so you don't get that spine tingler, you don't get that clunk when you come off of a jump. And to me, that is the dream, because you haven't had that option to go, hey, I have the sled soft enough to soak the bumps up, but firm enough if something comes up and catches me off guard.
In has the 3 different settings, and like if you were gonna hit stuff hard, you would hit the button, turn it up to extreme. You can see the shock start up a lot stiffer. So what that allows you to do, that allows you to jump if you need to. So you can hit a hard jump. So if you know you anticipate hitting something hard, you put it into extreme, and it's unbelievable how well it takes the bumps. But on the other hand, if you run it down all the way to comfort, so you got it so this thing will soak up bumps. Anytime the machine gets airborne, the shocks go 100% stiff. So it'll keep you from bottoming out. It stiffens them up. It's absolutely incredible. And if you watch, we may be able to even see it on the screen. When it goes airborne, because I mean, I'm like, this is some big bumps, and I'm in comfort, and you literally, you don't feel it bottoming out or anything like that, which is unheard of. Okay, like anytime you have your suspension set soft, you can't like jump through stuff. Like there, I just like cased into that. I mean, it's unbelievable how well it works with the airborne mode. And when you turn it to rally, which is kind of your in-betweener, you can see the shocks are a little bit stiffer. So I'm not a very big guy. I'm pretty light. So the comfort for me, a lot of times, is what I run in, simply because it works so good on the small bumps for me, because I'm not heavy enough. But for probably an average sized person, sized guy anyway, they would probably be running in the rally mode, and it would probably be just about perfect for them. I mean, it's unbelievable. I just cased into those jumps, and I didn't get the clunk, the bottoming out. It just absorbed, which is absolutely amazing to me. Like this is like chatter. Most people are like going 10 mile an hour through there. When you put it on comfort, it's like a trophy truck. Literally, it's just absorbing everything. It is so awesome. Incredible to be able to go from like, okay, I want it stiff enough where I can jump, to I want it soft enough to eat up chatter bumps like that. Alright, this is an extreme. Now watch, I'm down to comfort, and look at it, just flattens right out. It's like crazy how much better it is in comfort to extreme through like chatter bumps like that. I mean, absolutely insane to me.
And also with Dynamix is that all of the information is shown to you on the 7S display, and it's shown in live time. So as you come into a corner and it starts feeling that lean, there'll be an icon that comes up, cornering. It knows you're cornering, and it starts to make that outside shock stiffer, and it shows you on the 7S display, which is absolutely incredible. So as you're riding, if you get a chance to look down while you're going through these different situations, you can literally see the suspension getting softer and stiffer depending on the scenario.
What I'm going to show you now, you can see it on the screen as it's happening too, which is really neat. But when you go around the turns, it makes the suspension optimum for the corner. So right now you can see I'm turning left, and that outside shock is like getting stiff. Like, that's incredible to me. So when you think of, you know, like the optimum setup for anything, that's what this suspension does. Is it like literally, it's literally adjusting on the fly, feeling like, oh yeah, you're cornering. It knows that. And you look at that shock when I'm cornering, it goes all, it gets stiff to hold you in the turn. And what's incredible about that is it gives so much confidence to you, because that suspension is setting, it's setting the snowmobile to the optimum setup. So when you corner, it's legitimately the best setup it can be, which, you know, to do that, you'd have to have extremely stiff suspension, right? And it would be terrible everywhere else that you rode. So you just don't want, you know, nobody sets a sled up for one thing, or nobody really wants to, because it's like, there's so many things in snowmobiling. So if you go in and you go, okay, I'm going to set it up so it's way good in the turns, well, then it's not going to be very good in the bumps. And look at that outside shock, just getting more and more firm, holding the sled. It's so stable through the turns.
So my setting, my personal setup, this is I kind of have two setups that I use all three, but my go-to is if it's just a smooth or just kind of a whooped out trail, I'll put it in comfort. You know, I'm a little bit lighter guy, and what it does is it allows the suspension just to move. It's a little bit softer valving, so imagine a trophy truck. That thing goes through all the bumps, just absorbing all of them. And the neat thing with Dynamix is if I come up on a big bump, it'll protect me from getting that spine tingle. If I'm gonna get out and get aggressive, I throw it in rally, and it just makes the initial setting a little bit stiffer, so there's a little bit more hold, and you know, you don't rely as much on the bottoming resistance initially, because you have a little bit stiffer rate to start with. And as you get into it, you start noticing that all of the motion stuff, from the acceleration, making that back shock stiffer, to braking, even under braking, it makes the front shock stiffer so it doesn't slam down too hard. All that stuff is, you can see it all moving a lot in that rally mode. And then whenever I come up on some jumps, I'll throw it in extreme. That makes the initial valving stiffest of the three. And what that helps with is, as you're going up a jump, there's that G out in the transition, and it kind of holds you in that area so that you don't have any kicks or odd jumping things coming off of the ramp. So I kind of utilize all three of them, but normal trail riding, comfort and rally is my go-to. I've enjoyed riding all snowmobiles throughout my life, but this sled has been special. Riding on Dynamix, having it automatically adjust to everything that you want it to do on the fly, I don't think it gets much better than that. We'll see you next time. Get out there and ride your snowmobile.